It's really tough.
Okay.
It's in certain areas is really saturated, so the shadiness is more higher. It's mentally draining. You work for celebrities or clients of celebrities as well. I know that they're really stressed, but it really trickles down onto you. Sometimes I want to cry. They'll talk bad to you. Certain celebrities saying I wasn't good enough. You're used to a certain technique, but I'm different. I have a life too.
Yeah.
They think service professionals don't have a life, but we have a life too as well. Sometimes they think just because they're celebrities, they don't have to pay.
Welcome back to the She Inspires podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Jade, board certified family medicine physician, wellness and weight loss specialist, owner of the Las Vegas membership medical practice, Inspire Primary Care, and I am excited about today's topic. Y'all know I always say that, but I get real excited when we have a special guest in the podcast studio. So I want you to welcome, first of all, let me tell you the topic of today, okay? We're talking about serving celebrities and growing a business with motherhood in the mix, okay? So we're talking about working with celebrities, growing a business, and motherhood. I am so excited to have my special guest, friend, and my amazing makeup artist. If you're watching this on video on YouTube, you already know. You can thank our amazing makeup artist, Chanel. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Dr. Jade. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you know, we chit chat all the time when we have our makeup sessions. And I was like, we got to get you on the podcast because they need to get in on some of what we talk about, right? And so, first of all, tell the She Inspires family who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Chanel. I'm a professional makeup artist out of Las Vegas, but I travel. I love traveling, so that's what I do.
Yes, and the travel, we are going to talk about it because you work with many celebrities, many reality TV stars that we know, many of the NFL wives. I mean, that's a big part of your business. And I find it really fascinating to hear some of the behind the scenes of what goes on. And I know that there may be some listeners that they might have a business in mind or be running a business and they may be interested in possibly tapping into that type of clientele. So I thought you had a really unique perspective on what that's like and how to do that, right? And so we're going to talk a lot about it, but I want to start with you have grown a successful beauty business. You are not only a celebrity makeup artist, but you're raising these children. Tell us about the journey of growing your beauty and makeup business.
Whew. I mean, it wasn't easy for sure. I started out as a food service worker, and I worked on Nellis Air Force Base for 5 years. I always did my makeup when I went to work. Everybody would tell me, you do makeup so well. Like, you can make a lot of money doing this. It's so nice. And I thought to myself, like, can I really? So COVID hit. And, you know, I started being on social media more because I'm a very shy person. But once I got on social media and I started, feeling comfortable, I started doing makeup looks and it just took off. So I also became a military trusted business when I first started because I was in retail first for my line, for my cosmetics line. And I was just like, wow, I'm making a lot of money doing this. But people wanted me to do their makeup. So I left retail and started doing makeup, and my first celebrity client was Apple Watts from Love and Hip Hop. So her fans, they became my fans too, and that's how I blew up and got so many followers, and that's just how it started, being her makeup artist for like 4 years.
Wow. And I know we'll talk about social media because I love how you utilize social media for your business. So we're going to head there.
Yes.
But that's so interesting and I tell people, well, I try to share this with people because people will ask like, well, what type of business should I start? Or I don't have a business idea. And I'm like, what do people ask you about that you also love to do, and that's just a good place to start, right? This is a really good one because we talk about businesses and many of us start businesses, but we're like, doesn't necessarily mean it will be successful. And the majority of businesses that start in the first 5 years close just due to
Yes.
not being able to acquire their customers, right? And to maintain and grow the business. So since you have grown a successful beauty business, what are some lessons that you have learned that you think have helped lead to the success of your business?
Oh, there's a lot of lessons I learned, but I can think of the biggest one for me is getting a mentor. I didn't have a mentor when I first started. So when you go and get a business and like it's hard for me because I get emotional every time I talk about it. But before I had a mentor, I had to learn about survivor's remorse. And because I feel like I made money too fast. For one, I wasn't used to making money. And for two, people around me, like, they become different. So when I had the survivor's remorse, everybody's problems became my problems. So I became a 6-figure business twice and I lost it all just because I felt remorse. I felt like my friends should be with me. I was just giving out money. I didn't really budget like I'm supposed to, which I knew how to budget because I was a financial planner at one of my jobs. So I knew better, but just having a mentor to keep you on track, I feel like that was my biggest lesson. But yeah, I learned a real hard lesson.
Yeah.
Because I almost lost my business.
Mentorship is so important. And that's something I like to share with people is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to go through the cave in darkness. There are people ahead of you who have done it successfully. Get in the rooms with them, get to know them, develop a genuine relationship with them. Most people who are successful would love other people who are serious about what they're trying to do to contribute to, as far as sharing some pearls, sharing some gems. Many of them have courses and conferences, right? So it's not always free, but, putting yourselves in the position to learn from those who have done it successfully, that's a big part of what we did at Inspire Primary Care. I said to myself, look, this has been done. This has been done all across the country. This has been done with other physicians straight from residency, just like I want to do. Yeah. Let me meet them. Let me buy their courses. Let me go to their conferences. Let me learn from them directly and not listen to these people who say it can't be done. So yeah, I love that you mentioned mentorship. I'm a big proponent of mentorship. That's a big part of what I try to encourage people to do as well. So let's talk about motherhood and growing a business, because you have 4 children.
Yes.
And you have grown a successful beauty business. And how has that looked, the journey of motherhood and growing a business?
Oh, that was definitely tough. I mean, my first marriage wasn't a good marriage, so I was technically a single mom being married. So my support system, like my mom helping me, my sister at the time when she could help me, like my village, that's what helped me, because I had to take care of my family. I had to take care of my kids because my husband wasn't going to help me at that time.
Right.
So the first 2 years is kind of like a blur because it just happens so fast.
Yeah.
But I missed a lot of milestones as well because my kids were young at the time. I missed a lot of milestones, so that kind of hurt my heart. But, they understand because mommy's taking care of them. Like, when they got older, we're like, we understand. We're not upset you wasn't there like that. But now I can be because my business became successful. So.
Right. Yeah. And I know there's a lot of mommy guilt that people may have, the fear of missing milestones, but that could also be in employed positions, right? Where you can miss milestones because of an employed position or because of a business. But one thing that has helped me is really to figure out, okay, what things can I delegate to other people as far as the tribe, right? How can other people help so that I can be present and so that I can have more time? And so I love that you utilize your tribe, because it does take a village. It takes a village. I'm thankful for my village. Shout out to my village. Yes. But yes, motherhood and growing a business, I get asked about that a lot. So when I hear other women have multiple children, especially 4, double the amount I have, I'm like, woo, how did you do it? And how are you doing it? Yeah, it's the village.
And God, of course.
Yes, and God. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm with you there. So one thing I love about working with you And shout out, if you are looking to work with me or collaborate with me in the future, I'm going to let you in right now on the requirement. And it's really, I don't feel like it's too much. It's literally just professionalism. And one thing
Yes.
I love about working with you is your professionalism. When
I
you say you're
appreciate
going to
that.
be somewhere, you're there. You're early. You are always positive. You don't bring your personal life into your work. You're like, I'm here, I'm getting it done. And I just love that. I love a crispy professional person. And that's what you're going to get when you're at Inspire Primary Care, right?
Yes, of
And
course.
so my thought is, how do you approach this when it comes to professionalism and customer service? Because one thing I noticed, especially in artistic areas, beauty and things like that, sometimes the professionalism and the customer service can be lacking, and that impacts the business down the
Yeah.
road.
Yeah.
And I've just been so impressed by how that has been with working with you. So tell me how that has looked. How did you develop that, and what tips do you have?
Oh, I think I learned that from just working in the military. Like, you cannot bring emotion into business. That's what they taught me.
Yeah.
So I felt like most of the journey I had to be emotionless. Sometimes it got to a point where I was too emotionless.
Yes.
So I would bring it home. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not loving to my kids. They're like, why are you so mean? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Military mind.
Yes.
Mind. Yeah.
Yes. So that's how I learned, just to be emotionless and just, take risks. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah. So you think a military really helped to ingrain that lifestyle into you, and it transitioned into business?
Yes.
I could say I could relate to that. I was not military. However, there are militant ways you have to develop
Yes.
with the journey of medicine. And one thing that medicine taught me was how to compartmentalize. And so, for example, my grandmother passed on my medical journey, but the next day I had an exam that I had to pass to go on to the next year of school. So I had to learn how to, grieve in that moment and then compartmentalize that and then go in and do my job as a physician, right? And I have had to also unlearn that in certain realms where it's like, okay, this is now a season where you can actually have emotions and you don't have to compartmentalize. So I think there's a time and a place in learning to that, but I call it compartmentalizing, but I like that you utilize the military background. But customer service and professionalism, you are just amazing. And I just really wanted to touch on that when it comes to growing a successful business.
Yes.
And so let's talk about what I really want to chat with about, especially with you, is celebrities, okay? Because there are people who may want to tap into the celebrity clientele in their
Don't
business.
do it.
Oh my goodness. and so I want you to share what that's really like, right? Because some people think like, oh, that's where it's at. Once I can do that and serve these people, that's when my business will really make it. So tell us about what the journey of working with celebrities has looked like for you and how you acquired those opportunities.
Well, I say like all my clients are the celebrities.
Hey,
Like,
okay.
all of them.
Including Dr. No.
Yes, of course. Anyone
Yeah.
that sits in my chair is a celebrity. But like really working for them, the industry is so, I don't know a proper word to put it. It's very shady.
Okay. So it's a tough industry.
It's really tough.
Okay.
In certain areas it's really saturated, so the shadiness is more higher. So it's mentally draining.
Okay.
And then you work for celebrities or clients of celebrities as well. And I know that they're really stressed, but it really trickles down onto you.
Okay.
So I'm glad I do have my military background, so I can, just focus and not bring my emotion to it, because sometimes I want to cry because they'll talk bad to you like you're a little peasant.
Okay.
I've dealt with that. I've dealt with certain celebrities saying I wasn't good enough just because when you're a makeup artist, each makeup artist has their own technique.
Yeah,
so you're used to a certain technique, but I'm different. So just the put down sometimes, they're constantly late. I understand their workload, but sometimes it's too excessive. Like one time, a client of Beyonce's, she was like 4 hours late. And I have a life too.
Yeah.
They think service professionals don't have a life, but we have a life too as well. And then when you want them to pay for your time, it's a problem. And sometimes they think just because they're celebrities, they don't have to pay.
Got it. Got it. Are there any pros to working with that clientele that you've experienced?
The exposure.
Okay.
I would say that exposure.
Okay.
The traveling.
Okay.
Because I love to travel.
Okay.
And that's not all celebrities.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Some celebrities are really, really nice. Like, they'll take care of you. Like, traveling with them, making sure you're eating, making sure you have hotels and things like that. But
yeah, and you're about to go on tour with Missy Elliott.
Yes.
To do her makeup. And
Yes.
and I'm sure she's going to be very nice and her team is going to be very nice.
She's the best I've ever worked for.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
amazing.
not gonna lie.
So
It's
not all bad.
top tier.
That's awesome.
She takes care of her people.
So how did you
appreciate
get
that.
those type of opportunities, especially the more positive ones like Missy Elliott?
It's like you got to network and know people.
Okay.
Because like I said, it's saturated.
Yes.
And they have to, trust your judgment because, this is their job. They're on TV. They have to look good. They, it's all referrals.
Yeah. So referrals. So that makes me think about the beginning of this where you said you're a little shy, which I'm like, girl, where? I have not experienced that in our one-on-ones. But okay, you identify as shy. And so
I'm really shy.
You're
really.
shy. Okay. All right. We'll go with that.
I would be on TV by now. They always try to make me go on TV. I can't do it.
We're going to go with shy. So let's say you're shy, but you talk about growing, your business and getting these major connections through networking, right? And referrals. So let's talk about that because a lot of busy women professionals that are growing their business that I talk to, a barrier for them in their mind is that they're more shy or that they're more introverted. And how do I make these connections when I really don't want to talk to people or don't want to go to those events? So how have you overcome the fact that you are naturally a shy person, but networking?
Fake it till I make it.
Okay.
Yeah, like in the inside, like I feel like I could get an ulcer.
Okay.
How like nervous I am. But on the outside, it doesn't look like it. People tell me that all the time.
Yes.
But I'm really, really nervous. Like I could pass out. Or like if we're in a setting where there's drinks, like I'll take a cocktail, maybe two. That helps me
to take the edge off.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that makes sense. But basically what I'm really summing that up as is you still push yourself outside the comfort zone.
Yeah.
You don't let it stop you.
Because you got to take risks in business.
That's right.
My life is a business. I got to take a risk.
Yes.
You just never know. But
yes.
I'll be wanting to faint.
So I want to, the ladies listening who are like, I want to grow a business, but I'm shy, but I'm introverted and all of that. We are too. I'm not shy, but I am introverted. And then we got shy over here. And so, and we're still networking and we're still pushing outside the comfort zone. Every time I go to a mixer, I wouldn't necessarily say nervous anymore, but I have to prepare myself mentally for the social interaction. And that's just a part of my natural self, but I'm still going to go and I'm still going to schedule it out. Right. Yeah. And so what about social media? Because you have built an amazing social media brand. It has been incredible to see how your social media has grown and how that feeds into growing your business. And so for those who are listening who may be interested and should be interested in how to utilize social media to grow their business, what tips do you have?
Network even outside of social media because you'll get the clients. If they see you and know you and you just brand yourself out there, they will come. I've worked with people that have tagged me in some post and I just gained their followers.
Got it.
That's mostly how I got all my followers is other people's followers because I told you I'm shy.
Yeah. So is it more so that you post your work and then someone else has tagged you and then that gives the exposure to their audience?
See, I like to work smarter and not harder.
Ooh, me too. Tell me more.
Yeah. So like when I'm doing a client, most of them, they like the way they look. They're going to take pictures. Send me the pictures.
Got it.
I don't want to take pictures. Like I just want to do my makeup, chat a little bit and just go. Because I'm not good at taking pictures at all.
Okay.
I was going to hire somebody to do it for me, like come along, because I'm just not good at it. Some people are good at it, but They take the pictures and they send it to me, and it's easy work. That's from other people.
So you ask your client to send you the pictures, and
Hmm.
then you post the pictures of your
Yeah, that's how it
clients.
started. But
Okay.
since they know me, they just send it to me anyways.
Okay. Okay. Now, do you, and this may more so be for me because I'm in more of medical HIPAA, but I don't know if
Yeah.
this really applies. Do you, if they send it to you, do you basically assume that that's consent to post, or do you have any type of social media agreement that you have before you
Um,
post people's pictures?
I normally ask
Okay. So more of a
first.
verbal agreement.
Yeah, if I don't know you,
Okay.
like
All right. But nothing necessarily in writing before you post. Just a question.
I used to.
You used to. Okay.
Yeah, but they're so excited they just send it to me. Can I post it? They're
Yeah.
like, yeah. So that's why they'll tag me on social media. So
Okay.
I'm going to repost.
Okay, perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
And so this is the question we ask all of the women who join the podcast. How are you balancing business and wellness in this season?
Whew, I need to get back on track, y'all.
Okay, okay. Honesty, I love it.
I do. I had a trainer because I'm traveling more than being in my studio. Because I used to have a studio, they would come to me, but now it's a luxury to have a makeup artist and to travel. So going to hotels, different hotels, sitting all the time, standing, twisting your back. I hurt my back. I was out for the count for 2 weeks and it scared me. So I need to get back into the gym and get my body squared away because it could be draining.
Okay, so we're going to
Yeah.
work on prioritizing more wellness in this season.
And eating vegetables.
I know, eating vegetables. So I'm going to just tell it, before the podcast, I had ordered us a little breakfast and some treats, right?
Yes.
And I was like, I'm going to order this green drink. It's called a wellness drink. It has some, I don't know, a whole bunch of
You're
green
just
stuff
telling
in
all
it.
the
I know, I'm
business,
telling
I
all the business.
swear.
I was like, it has all this green stuff in it. And she was like, yeah, I don't want it to be that healthy. So, we're just transitioning back in. We're transitioning back in. And that's fine, because a lot of women listening may also be in a space where they want to transition back into their wellness routine.
Yeah.
So we don't need to have everybody on the podcast saying that they're doing 100 sit-ups and burpees a day and eating kale. I mean, we have to have a little balance amongst the guests.
My other makeup partner, she's constantly in the gym. She is ripped. I'm like, girl, teach me.
Yes.
Teach me.
Yes. All right. So where can the She Inspires fam find you on socials?
So my social is official Gem Doll. That's JEM instead of GEM. It's like a play on words. But that's all my socials. Official Gem Doll. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I think even Snapchat.
Okay. And you said you travel and you're, of course, local to Las Vegas. So if they're interested in your services, is reaching out through, what's the best way to reach out to you?
On my socials, I have my number posted, or they can just DM me. I'm always constantly answering like calls.
Perfect. Well, I have
Messages.
loved working with you, and thank you for being a woman who inspires, balancing all the
thank
things,
you.
all the children, and just being such a pleasure to work with, genuinely. And so I hope you all enjoyed this episode of the She Inspires podcast. Drop a comment below. Let us know your thoughts on the episode. Leave the podcast a review. Share the podcast with other busy professional women in your life. If you have a product or service that you think will benefit other busy professional women, reach out to our team to be a sponsor of the She Inspires podcast and episode. And of course, join our social media family. That's on Instagram and YouTube at Dr. Jade MD. And we'll see you on the next episode of the She Inspires podcast.